Welcome to another stage analysis video. It's Sunday the 14th of September 2025. As always, lots to get through on the weekend video. We're going to start off with the watch list stocks today, starting with AAOI, which has been approaching the stage 2 continuation level. It did actually attempt to start breaking out into stage 2 back through this area here in late June and pulled back in below the 200-day moving average again, and it's been consolidating. But as you can see, recently had that little gap up and pop through the near-term level on, what was that, Wednesday, and then consolidated it around towards the end of the week. So the current stage 2 level is sitting up here just above the 28 level. So if we do get a follow-through move through here, then potentially we could start to see it move up and out into stage 2. If we flip to a weekly chart on this, you can see the levels a little bit more clearly there. So the current level is at 28.66, which is across this area here. So we use the weekly closes as part of the levels, not the absolute highs when doing those. So basically at the moment it's in very tight. It's actually moved up considerably over the last few months. So come back to the daily here and just get the inspector up. You can see it actually had a really big move, over 220% from the April low up to the July high there. So looking, as I said, looking for it to follow through, start to move up and out into potential stage 2. You can see the SATA score has improved from a 3 all the way up to a strong 8 over the last few weeks as it's consolidated in the more neutral range and now moving back into strong position again. So typically when a stock is in stage 2, as you can see through here, so if we do, when you're above the SATA 6 level for the majority of the time, that will be in stage 2. So you can see here, this is 6 and above through here, and then it starts to drop back into more neutral territory. Then we move above SATA 6 again through this area here. So these are generally strong periods when the technical attributes are a 6 or higher. When it pulls back more into neutral, you tend to be under the 10-week moving average, but most of the time still above the rising 30-week moving average. So you can see at the moment, we're obviously well above that currently. So we're looking for another solid move. You can see in past moves, it's had decent stage 2 runs. So we're looking for something similar, potentially start to get a push back up towards the 2024 high, which was at 44.50 there. We move on to Apple next. So this broke out into stage 2 recently, just had its event last week with the new iPhones and various other updates. Nothing dramatic coming out of that, so it did actually sell off after the event, but it's recovered the sell-off so far, filled the gap. So if it does start to follow through back through the pivot high here, then we'll start to be back in a better spot. Put the ATR levels back on here. You can see the 1 ATR level is just at 235.20 at the moment, so close at 234.07. So a little bit more work to do in that. Come back to here and look on the weekly chart. You can see the move that it's had. It did start to break out into stage 2 through this area, and obviously last week a bit of a tail on that, but the mantle relative strength still hasn't crossed above the 0 line as yet, so we're looking for it to start to move back through there. But SATA score is strong within its group. You can see it's still one of the strongest stocks within the group. A number of other stocks doing better: Western Digital, Seagate, Pure Storage, Hewlett Packard, Logitech, NetApp, INOQ had a big move last week, for example. Just quickly flick through to that. You can see with a massive continuation breakout with new closing all-time highs on that one as well. So strong group in the near term as well. Next up, Ethereum. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, both doing reasonably well at the moment, near to their highs. Ethereum has been stronger in the near term. You can see this consolidation that it's had over the last few weeks. So breaking out on Friday above the plus 1 ATR level on here on the chart. As you can see, getting back up towards the upper part of the range again. So recent range through this area here. So looking for it to continue on and grind its way back towards the highs, potentially start to push to new all-time highs. You can see on the weekly here, this is only the ETHA, so the iShares Ethereum ETF, so the spot ETF, which launched back in 2024. So if you actually look at when doing technical analysis on obviously crypto, you want to look at the proper crypto coin to get the full range. Obviously it trades 7 days a week, 24 hours a day practically. So this gives you the, if you go onto the actual crypto coin itself, you can get the full weekly range, a bit like looking at spot gold versus looking at the GLD, which only trades during the US session. Gives you something a little bit different. So you can see over the weekend here, pull back in a tiny bit. We'll zoom in on this a little bit here. You can see still around that 180R level. So looking for continuation for it to push on towards new highs. So